Clutch Sports Talk. Let's go. Happy Monday to you guys, everyone, man. It's me, your boy, Ryan Flowers, a.k.a. Clutch Sports Talk, in the house with another edition, man. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I know I did. Hey, I got another jam-packed show for you guys today. I got to talk about Aaron Rodgers, a little bit about what his press conference, what he talked about in that press conference. And it looks like he's going to be moving out of Green Bay after this season. And where should he go? I got some teams up I want to throw out to you guys. Let me know what you think. Also, Carson Wentz, again, man, this guy is made out of glass. He is out again indefinitely for quite some time to a lower leg injury. I don't know. It looks like the Colts might have just got a lemon, basically. I don't know. We'll have to talk about that. Also, I want to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. They traded for Russell Westbrook last week, Thursday, I believe. What's going to happen with that? Is that going to work with LeBron James and Russell Westbrook? I'll share my thoughts on that as well tonight. And finally, I want to talk about the NBA free agency that's been kicking off today. A couple moves been made, some guys staying put, some guys moving on. I'll let you know what that is. But hey, without further ado, sit back and relax and enjoy the show. This is Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers. Let's go. Welcome back, man. Hope you guys are doing swell. Yeah, that's a word out there, swell. I know I am, man. Another edition of Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers, man. We got lots to get into tonight. But before I do, make sure if you haven't hit me up on my YouTube channel, man, make sure you go ahead and do that right after the show. Subscribe. Like, comment, share, do what you got to do. Also, check me out on my other social media platforms that you can see scrolling down below on the ticker. I appreciate the support, but without further ado, man, hey, let's get into the first topic of tonight. I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers. Yes, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy from Green Bay. He's worked out a deal. They're going to play at least one more season. That's what it looks like in Green Bay. He had some choice words to say, I would say, last week in his presser when he returned to the training camp in Green Bay. Basically what he talked about, for those who don't know, he just said, hey, listen, there were some things other than the trade. We all knew the trade, the draft night selection of Jordan Love. It ticked him off, but there were some other things prior to that kind of got Aaron Rodgers feeling a certain type of way. A lot of it was how they dealt with a lot of prominent Green Bay players that left or was not even offered a contract. Guys like Clay Matthews, Charles Woodson, Greg Jones, all these other great guys that were there, who were, cornerstone, highly touted, respectable players in that Green Bay locker room. And management just kind of let them walk or just didn't give them that respect that Aaron Rodgers probably felt that they deserved. So, that to me, the way he was so candid. I mean, you got to go back and watch that whole press conference. I mean, he was so relaxed because he walked in. I can assume most of you, if you ever put your 2 weeks in a job, right? Say you didn't like that job, it sucked. You hate going in there, and then you got another job, right? And then finally you get another job, and then you put your 2 weeks in. Those 2 weeks are like the best 2 weeks of your life professionally. Why? Because you're walking into a situation and you're like, I don't really care what happens. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to say what I want to say. And I think that's exactly what Aaron Rodgers was doing. He put his 2 weeks in, and he's like, look, I contemplated thinking about going to other teams this season or really pushing the envelope, and they didn't. But I think he knows now, like, hey, I'm going to give it one more go. I am the reigning NFL MVP. And he knows that people are not coming to Green Bay because it's a great vacation destination. As he said, they're coming to play with him. And he knows wherever he goes, guys are going to follow suit. So, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. But he basically put his 2 weeks notice in, and he's walking on cloud nine. Even today, they interviewed him today after one of the practices, and he was just so carefree, man. He didn't care. He's just like, whatever, man, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm still Aaron Rodgers. I still have some left in the tank, and I'm going to do what I do. Now, the season goes by. I don't know what's going to happen to them. Say they, whatever. It is what it is. The season's done. A few teams that come to mind in regards to him possibly moving on to. A lot of people talked about, and especially in this offseason, the Raiders. I don't like the Raiders situation here. Let's be real about the Raiders. Okay, I'm going to be real true about the Raiders because I don't like the Raiders, but I'll have to be honest because this is my perspective, right? The Raiders in itself, they're not a bad team. Derek Carr is not a bad quarterback. I think that They have some solid weapons over there. Their defense is just atrocious. I mean, they're terrible. Derek Carr really had a really good season last year, despite the team record and them not making the playoffs, especially opening up that new stadium here in Las Vegas and Allegiant Stadium. But Derek Carr is not the problem. Actually, matter of fact, Derek Carr is not even on the he's not even on the grocery list of problems for the Oakland Raiders. A lot of it comes from the defensive side of the ball. Now their offensive line has been kind of shaken up a little bit. They let some guys go. They brought some questionable guys in, so we'll have to see how that goes. But Darren Waller is a stud. Derek Carr really is a really solid quarterback. Jacobs, the running back, he's pretty good back there too as well. Now they don't really have a true number one wide receiver, so maybe that's something they may have to go out and venture into going into next season. And I'm purely talking about next season if everything stays the way it is. But I don't like Aaron Rodgers going there just because I mean, from a fan's perspective, of course. I mean, look, he would be in arguably a division with the best quarterbacks. That the AFC West would probably be the best division in regards to quarterback play. I mean, you got Patrick Mahomes there. You would then have Justin Herbert also there. I mean, who else is there? God, I'm drawing a blank. I mean, the Denver Broncos, maybe not so much. But at least those three guys there, Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers decided to go to the Raiders, it'd be Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and Justin Herbert. And that's a really good quarterback division. So I don't know. So to me, the Raiders is off the table. I don't like the Raiders for him, and I don't think he would want to go there anyway. So the other team staying in that division, the Denver Broncos, they've also expressed interest in him this past season or this offseason right now. The same thing with them. Two things that stick out to me is their offensive line too. Their offensive line isn't that great. And the other big thing is that their head coach. Now, let's just say Vic Fangio is the head coach still there after the season, which he probably might not be. But let's just say for whatever sake he is. I don't think he wants to go to play his remaining years for Vic Fangio. Great defensive mind, but probably not a head coach, right? Now, they do have an array of talent for him to throw to, some young guys there. But I just don't see him going to Denver. It just I don't think that's a place for him. Another team that people probably talked about a little bit, I heard Houston Texans, but I'm not going to even entertain that because I don't even think that's even a thing. The New York Giants. The New York Giants is one team that I read in an article a couple of days ago. They might be in the market, especially after Daniel Jones, if he doesn't have a great season at the end of this year. Will that be a possibility? I would say that might be a pretty good fit. It would suck for me because he would be playing my Cowboys in the NFC East twice a year, which I don't really want to see this guy twice a year, even though I love Dak, but Aaron Rodgers is legit. That's not somebody I want to see twice a year. Hell, not even once a year. So, but the Giants definitely have a good group of wide receiving talent. Saquon Barkley's back, so he should be back and ready to go. Evan Ingram, he's got potential as a really good tight end. He suffers from dropping the ball a lot, though. But if they can get that right, that team offensively will be pretty good. You have Sterling Shepard out there, wide receiver. Darius Slayton, some other guys out there. They got some other. I mean, they added Kenny Golladay this offseason, so maybe the Giants might be a landing spot for him next season. But the team that I think that Aaron Rodgers could walk in tomorrow and automatically make them a Super Bowl contender is the Miami Dolphins. Yes, the Miami Dolphins, I feel, are ready to go. They have a really good head coach. Their defense is strong. Their offensive talent have gotten better. They added Jalen Waddle this offseason to pair him with Devontae Parker. They got Mike Gesicki, a tight end. Now, running back situation, I forgot the guy that they got back there, but he's pretty solid as well. And the division, to me, is winnable. I mean, look, a lot of people are still loving Tua. I'm not a big fan of Tua, but this is a make it or break it year for him. I just don't see him having a great season, at least to put them in that realm of winning a championship. Hell, even winning a division. The Patriots are going to be better than last year. Miami definitely is a strong team. The AFC East is pretty tough. The Buffalo Bills are there as well too. The Jets might turn the corner. I mean, they might get a little bit better, but I do like Aaron Rodgers going down there to South Florida and playing there. I think, the Dolphins and the Giants to me are the two best suitable options as of this point right now, given the landscape of how everything is right now. I do like Miami number one for him to possibly play there next season if that's an option, because like I said, Tua to me is not going to be the guy. He's not going to be the option And so I think the Miami's going to have to end up moving on from him. And it's sad because you know what? I'm not saying he can't play in the NFL, but I don't know if he's a starting NFL quarterback in the National Football League. So we'll just have to wait and see. But he's going into his third year, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, guys are coming off the bench, being drafted, and they're playing pretty solid. Justin Herbert did that, and a few other guys. Kyler Murray did that. So this having to wait, no, not anymore. I think guys now are ready to go, and I think Aaron Rodgers would be fits very nicely, very, 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 very nicely in South Beach. So we'll see. All right, sticking quarterbacks. Carson Wentz out again. Man, this guy, what a tragic case this guy is, man. It's sad actually. I root against him because he was an Eagle, but when he moved on to Indianapolis, I was like, you know what? He probably needed to get a fresh scenery, getting out of Philadelphia. Because here's the thing, man. Like that year they won the Super Bowl, he was probably should have won the MVP. He got hurt against the Rams. I forgot what it was. I think he dove into the end zone trying to get a touchdown. He ended up getting a touchdown, but torn his ACL or MCL. I forgot which injury it was. And then pretty much Nick Foles comes in. He basically just rides the wave and carries them to the Super Bowl, and they beat, Tom Brady and New England Patriots. And I feel like, yes, Carson Wentz was probably the best player that year, but he got hurt, so he didn't finish out the season. And I think ever since then, he kind of had been, it's like chasing a ghost. He always tried to get back to that same form. He just couldn't because of injuries. And literally, this guy, I mean, it's training camp. No one hits the quarterback, and he's already out. He's already out 5 to 12 weeks. 5 to 12 weeks. I mean, hopefully, you hope it's 5, but still, that's 5 weeks. That's more than 25% of the close to 25% of the schedule next season. So, his legacy, man, it's going to be a lot of people loved his talent. I mean, that's why he went so high, you know. I believe he went number one, if I'm not mistaken, right? So if he went number one, a lot of people felt like he was the guy. Obviously, he wasn't the guy. Philadelphia decided to trade him. He goes to Indianapolis to rekindle his relationship with his ex-offensive coordinator and Frank Reich. But boom, now he gets hurt. Now he's out 5 to 12 weeks. Now, what happens now with the Colts? I don't know, man. The Colts need to get on the phone. There's some guys out there. Marcus Mariota, you better call him up. You better call him up and call the Raiders up and see, hey, man, what can we do? He's the backup now for the Las Vegas Raiders, but maybe they go in and get a guy like that. I don't know. But as far as Carson Wentz is concerned, I think I wouldn't say his career is over. It's not over, but he will not ever play a full season in the National Football League ever again. I don't foresee it. And I'll be the first to come out here if he does and say, I was wrong. But just giving his history, I don't see him doing that. And we haven't even gotten into like the real part of training camp yet. A lot of camps only been open a week and this guy's already hurt. It's just unfortunate, but I'm not going to say his career is over, but it's going to be hard for him to bounce back. Hopefully he does. Hopefully he comes back this season, but his legacy is just going to be like, this guy's made out of glass. And I still don't think he was better than Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott has shown that, yes, even though he did get hurt this season, but that was a real legit injury. Not saying that Carson Wentz wasn't, but he was tackled from behind almost in a horse collar fashion. And look what happened to Dak. Dak to me is still better than Carson Wentz any day of the week. I'll take Dak over him any day because I know for the most part, Dak is going to be there. Dak will be there from Sunday to Sunday. Carson Wentz, you don't know, man. Like literally he could be playing in a game. Next thing you know, you're like, where's Carson Wentz? He's in the medical tent and he's out for the rest of the game. So who knows? Carson Wentz, man, he's a good talent. He's a great talent. I won't say great. He's a good talent. He's a good talent, right? Considering where he came from, the school that he played at, his rise in the NFL real quick. And then he fell really quick too. But like I said before, at the top of the segment, he really had been chasing that Super Bowl season year where he probably should have been the MVP. And it just hasn't happened because injuries just keeps knocking this guy down. So let me know what you guys think, man. Is it over for Carson Wentz? Is he gonna come back stronger, or do you think he's gonna be injured again? Let me know what you guys think about that. So hey, we're gonna keep moving on. NBA, man, I gotta switch over to the NBA, man. Look, the Lakers blockbuster trade. They got rid of KCP. They got rid of Kuzma. They got rid of Montrezl Harrell. They traded them all to the Washington Wizards in exchange for Russell Westbrook. So Russell Westbrook is coming back home to the LA area. He will be teaming up with AD, LeBron. A lot of people in Lakerland are excited. Of course, Russell Westbrook is a household name, superstar type of caliber player. but he does have his inadequacies. His shooting is not the best. Sometimes his game decision making skills is not also on point as well too. Now, as far as the Lakers are concerned, well, I'll answer this. Well, who won the trade? It just depends, man. I don't know. I don't know because a lot of people will say at the initial trade when Anthony Davis got traded from New Orleans to LA, a lot of people looked at it and say, well, the Pelicans got some young guys, but then the Lakers ended up winning the championship. And I think at the end of the day, I would say the Lakers might have won that trade just because you got a player that helps you win a championship. So for the sake of argument, I'm going to look at it from this. The Washington Wizards obviously knew they needed to get rid of something. They couldn't come back with the same team again. Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal. I'm not saying it didn't work out, but I just don't think Russell Westbrook really wanted to be there. From all accounts, Bradley Beal wants to be in Washington, so he might just be staying in Washington. Now, Washington, what they did, they freed up some cap space. They can go out and get some guys. They basically did a 3-for-1. They got rid of Russell Westbrook, who was high on their salary cap, and they got 3 solid players that can maybe come in and play with Bradley Beal. Now they still need a point guard. Now there are talks of Spencer Dinwiddie might be in talks with the Washington Wizards, so maybe they slide him in there to play a true point guard. But I mean, they're not going to be world beaters. Will they be vying for a playoff spot? Yeah, barring any injuries, I think so. Maybe Kuzma can kind of get out from under the shadow of LeBron. I was very high on Kuzma, man, a few years ago. I thought when they traded Brandon Ingram, I was like, all right, this is Kuzma's time. I thought Kuzma was going to kind of break out a little bit. He was kind of inconsistent. He played decent in the bubble last season, but just really in the playoffs, he just was non-existent. Same thing with KCP. These guys disappeared. Montrezl Harrell really never fit what Frank Vogel was trying to do. And so now the Lakers, they got rid of all these guys. They have to fill like almost 11 spots on the roster. Recently, just a couple minutes ago, it's reports that Dwight Howard's coming back. Trevor Ariza signed a 1-year deal. And I believe Wayne Ellington. So, Trevor Ariza, he's over the hill. He's a veteran now. I don't think he could really bring anything to that locker room anymore. I mean, excuse me, not the locker room, but to the court. Dwight Howard is actually not a bad pickup because one thing that the Lakers did lack was size in the paint. And that was something that was proven to be big time for them in their bubble championship run when they had Dwight and they had JaVale McGee. They had really solid rim protectors because Marc Gasol, to me, really just couldn't get the job done. Now, in regards to the dynamics and how Russell Westbrook is going to work with LeBron and AD, I don't know, man. I know I talked about this last week about who the Lakers should probably go after if Russell Westbrook and CP3 was available. Well, obviously we know CP3 is re-signed with the Phoenix Suns, but listen, for the sake of argument, I thought that Russell Westbrook was the better fit just because CP3 and LeBron really wouldn't match up well just because LeBron likes to play point guard more often than not. And CP3 is a true point guard. I don't see CP3 just standing off on the wings anywhere waiting for the ball. He needs control of the ball. And I think Westbrook can play without the ball. And I think it might help the Lakers, especially LeBron. Russell Westbrook doesn't have, I don't know, and don't quote me, I don't have the exact stats, but I'm not sure if he's missed a lot of games in the last season or two due to injury. Now he might miss some here and there, but as far as having major injuries, knock on wood, hopefully, he hasn't missed a lot of significant amount of time, whereas LeBron and Anthony Davis have missed significant amount of time in the last 2 or 3 years. So maybe having Russell Westbrook, it does help them offensively when they do get, because obviously Anthony Davis is not going to play a full season. He's not. He's going to get hurt at some point again. He's a big with injury tendencies. It's going to happen again. Now, as far as LeBron is getting older too. He might suffer another injury bug and something might happen to him again too. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens there. So getting a guy like Russell Westbrook, who, he's a triple-double machine. Now, obviously, that hasn't turned into a lot of wins, especially championships in his career. But, he can get the job done offensively. So we'll just have to see, how that fits as far as the behavior. I don't know, man. Russell Westbrook is intense. He is like a true alpha male. He doesn't give a damn. He's going to do what he's going to do. He's not there to be your friend. He's there to play basketball. Where LeBron James, to me, is a little bit more passive aggressive of some sort. So I don't know, man. It's going to be an interesting dynamic in LA. Apparently, these two had met at LeBron's house in Malibu a couple of weeks back, discussing maybe this might be a possibility. So maybe they hash some things out then and there. Because, look, LeBron probably did not like the way he went out. He lost to the Phoenix Suns. I mean, really, this is the Phoenix Suns. I get it. They had a great season, but it's not like he went out, and the way they went out, they were outgunned. And I get it. Anthony Davis was hurt. LeBron really was struggling as well, too. He missed a lot of games down the stretch. He probably didn't like how that ended. And, he probably just wanted to get the season over with, to be honest with you. He probably didn't really care. And I think he was like, you know what? If we beat the Phoenix Suns, I really can't give you guys much anymore. So for him, I think he kind of accepted that fact and said, you know what? I need to talk to somebody. And that's exactly what they did. And the trade was made. So, you know, I think for the Lakers will be okay. The West, let's just be honest. The Phoenix Suns and the Utah Jazz were the top two teams in the West. Okay. I mean, the Lakers literally have three superstars on their team. That's, and I know I said it last season, and I was wrong because the Jazz and the Suns still made the playoffs and they were top contender teams. But look, I don't see this being something that the Suns are going to be able to reciprocate going into next season. I think they caught a little something, caught a little magic in the bottle, and so now I think that the Lakers should kind of get back to prominence, but they still have a lot of roles they need to fill on their roster. They still need shooters. Because you have all these guys now, but none of them can shoot the three-point ball the way you need to be shot. That's why a lot of people thought KCP was probably, excuse me, not KCP. Kyle Kuzma was going to be traded for Buddy Hield in Sacramento. It didn't happen, but maybe there's still some work because now look, they really have nobody else to trade off. I mean, you got maybe Caruso, which he's going to end up staying because they need him. He doesn't cost a lot of money, but they still need to fill out the rest of this roster. Wesley Matthews, I think, is still on contract, but no, I think he's on a 1 year. He was on a 1 year deal too. So there's still a lot of shifting and movement going on for the Lakers roster, but like I said, if I'm the GM, if I'm Rob Pelinka, like you have your core. Now I need to start working on a bench and at least 1 to 2 shooters, guys that are just dead on 3-point shooters because that's the league and that's what it is. So we'll see what happens in the offseason or with the rest of them, a couple months before the season starts up again. But, do I like the trade? Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm not like, oh my God, this was a wasted trade where we got rid of KCP and Kuzma like that. That don't even sound right. I think a lot of people were done with Kyle Kuzma anyway. So I think they just needed to move on. So, all right, last topic of the night, man. Staying with NBA offseason and free agency frenzy, man. So a couple of things went down, like I just reported a couple of minutes ago. CP3 is staying in Phoenix for 4 years, I believe, $120 million. Kyle Lowry is moving on from Toronto, where he's like Mr. Raptor. He's going down to Miami. He's going to Miami. He's going to be teaming up with Jimmy Butler, who also signed a 4-year max extension as well, too. Kawhi Leonard opted out, so he's a free agent. And Lonzo Ball signing trade deal. He's taking his talents to Chicago. So let's just kind of unpack a little bit of this. So let's start with CP3. So he's going to stay in Phoenix. Okay. If I was Phoenix, I probably wouldn't have re-signed him, but maybe they think that they got something. Cameron Payne is going to stick on. So the majority of the core of their team will be there again. So I can see from playing it safe, that's what they wanted to do. CP3, I don't think he really needs the money. He probably felt like, well, hey, the Lakers went and got Russell Westbrook, so they're not going to use my services. I'm not going to play with my friend, so I might as well just stay in Phoenix where I know the lay of the land and I know what this team is about. I'm familiar with the coach, so it's a no-brainer. Why not stay? Kyle Lowry, I think it was his time in Toronto. For whatever it's worth, he won a championship there. He'll probably go down as one of the greater Raptors outside of Vince Carter. So, it was his time. It was his time. They signed Fred VanVleet to a lot of money last season. So they just needed to move on and pass the torch. So I can see him moving down to Miami to play with Jimmy Butler. Lonzo Ball, I talked about him several times on my show. I think he improved tremendously. His shooting got better this past season. We all knew he had talent. He had the skills. His basketball IQ is bar none one of the best out there for a young guy. But I think a lot of it just comes with his demeanor. He doesn't seem like a go-getter. He's not a guy like unlike his brother LaMelo, who is he's a highlight reel. He's a straight scorer, and I think people see that and they're like, well, he's the better player. I won't say LaMelo is the better player. I think they're just different. I think Melo is a lot more aggressive. He's looking to score, whereas Lonzo was brought up to be this, this prototypical point guard where he's looking to distribute. He's really reluctant to want to score. Can he put it up if he has to? But if you ever watch this guy play consistently, you're like, damn, dude, it's like, just drive. He doesn't really want to drive, where LaMelo will pull up on you anytime, any day of the week. So I don't think this will be his last stop. He's going to be a guy involved in a lot of trade deals. That's what his value is going to be, because look, he is what he is at this point. I think he's going into his fourth or fifth season, if I'm not mistaken. Probably fourth, I think. He is what he is. He'll probably improve his shooting. He's a pretty good on the ball defender. He can pass. We know his IQ, but I think he is what he is. He'll never fill into those shoes that Magic Johnson kind of picked out for him in his first press conference as a Laker after he was drafted. But he will be a solid NBA vet for his career to come. And as far as Kawhi Leonard is concerned, who knows what he's gonna do? Maybe he's opting out, maybe for tactical reasons for the Clippers, and maybe he's going to intend on signing back with the Clippers. I don't know. You never know with this guy. You don't know when he's going to play. You don't know what we know what his demeanor is like, but he keeps everything close to the vest. Now, the Clippers, if I'm the Clippers, man, you're in a tough situation because you kind of need him, but you don't know if you're going to get him back. If you do sign him back, you maybe got to trade Paul George, because I don't think Paul George is the guy. But then again, is Kawhi Leonard the guy? There's so many ifs about Kawhi Leonard. Just a few years ago, we were all talking about how he's better than LeBron and he's this and that. And then it's like he goes to LA after winning the championship in Toronto. He was like the NBA sweetheart. He was literally the next guy in line to take over to take over the mantle in the NBA, because LeBron didn't win the championship. And now look, in the last 2 to 3 years, it's like, well, I won't say he's a laughing stock, but a lot of people don't take him seriously anymore. The Clippers they're in a tough spot too, because they don't really. If he doesn't come back, okay, you still have Paul George, and then that's pretty much it. Now they got some young guys there. But is it enough in the West? Like I said, the West is deep. Is it strong? Like, is there a clear-cut guy, a team? No, not really necessarily. That's why I feel like teams like the Lakers and even the Clippers can still make the playoffs even without a Kawhi Leonard. It's just deeper than the East, for sure. It's a way deeper conference. So with Kawhi leaving, if he decides to completely leave and go to somewhere else, I don't know where he should go. He's not going to stay in LA. He's not going to play for the Lakers because he's not that dude. He's not going to play behind LeBron, even though he's not big on the attention. He's not going to sit there and play. Honestly, I'd be surprised if he did it. Now, it would work because theoretically he can take as much time off as he needs because they have other guys there and they can rotate them properly. He should have went there in the first place. And it would have been AD, hoping perhaps LeBron and Kawhi. That would have been the trio that would have been pretty tough to mess with. But as far as available teams out there, New York, I mean, really, no one's going to New York. So New Yorkers, just stop it. No one wants to go to New York, not because of the city, your ownership. No one likes Jimmy Dolan. So he's not going to New York. Because it seems like every free agent, big-time free agent that comes to New York, like no one's going there. Dame Lillard is not being traded to New York, okay? He's not going to New York as well. So you guys need to give up hope until Jimmy Dolan sells the team, and then you get some new management. Then maybe you might get a chance at one of these guys. But none of these guys are going to New York. Where else could he go? Where else could he go that he can come out day one and be a championship contender? There's not that many teams available. So it's going to be very interesting when that shoe drops where he signs. My guess is he'll probably stay in LA with the Clippers, not with the Lakers, but with the Clippers. But if he does sign with the Lakers, it's going to be all hell broken loose because the Lakers will remain the top dog in the West and not even having winning the Western Conference last year. That automatically puts them to the top because now literally you have 4 legitimate Hall of famers in your starting lineup. So we'll have to wait and see. But I don't know, man. The other news that I can think of, no, those are the big ones, man. DeMar DeRozan's still out there. So there's some other decent guys. John Collins, the power forward from Atlanta, he's still out there right now. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But, this is a good time. Summer League is coming out here this weekend for the NBA, so I'll probably be checking that out. So, but other than that, man, that's it. That's my show this evening, man. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys like and follow and share this content, man, to everybody. I appreciate it. It takes a lot of work and time to put this on for you guys. So make sure you guys drop a comment. But other than that, be on the lookout for my next show, possibly Friday, same time at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, hey, that's me. That's all I got. Enjoy the rest of your night, man. This is Clutch Sports Talk Live with me, Ryan Flowers. Never settle till the work is done. Peace out, guys.